biggest topics in the WNBA is this: Satou Sabally headed to Indiana to join Caitlyn Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell to have a big four take over the WNBA.
Is Satou Sabally really joining Caitlyn Clark on the Indiana Fever? If this speculation becomes reality, it could transform the Fever into a WNBA powerhouse and redefine the league's competitive landscape. This story has been buzzing all over basketball, and Sabally's recent actions have only fueled the fire.
Because there were way too many Caitlyn fans in our but like, it just kudos.
That's right. Whether it's her calculated social media activity or the Fever's off-season roster moves, everything points to one question. Is Sabally planning to suit up for Indiana next season? Stay tuned till the end, as we'll dive into all the clues and explore what this could mean for the Fever and the WNBA.
It's the one player that I would say gives Indiana Fever the brightest future, because Satou's like 24, 26 years old.
But first, let's talk about the latest changes in the Indiana Fever roster. Tammy has left the Fever to join the Valkyries in the recent expansion draft. Now you might ask, what's Tammy got to do with Satou Sabally? The Fever's decision to part ways with Tammy Fogbenley earlier this offseason might seem like a standard roster adjustment, but under the microscope, it looks more like a chess move. Fogbenley was a significant presence on the court, but her departure frees up the salary cap as well as roster flexibility, key components for signing a star like Sabally. Fever general manager Amber Cox has shown a willingness to make bold moves, and this could be her biggest gamble yet.
So the Golden State Valkyries picked their team, and there's one player that a lot of people are really upset about not being on it. Unfortunately, that player is from the Indiana Fever. We're being picked, Tammy Fogbenley.
Let's be clear, many fans were not too sold by this transfer. However, by letting Fogbenley go, the Fever have sent a clear signal. They're ready to make room for another marquee player. And who better than Sabally, one of the most versatile and dynamic forwards in the league, to fill that void. Let's talk about Satou Sabally for a second. Recently, she has been dropping massive hints for joining Indiana Fever as a free agent.
It appears that she has sort of indicated that she is interested. If you can read people's social media likes, people believe that Satou has indicated that she would be interested in going to Indiana, and she's also spoken well of Caitlyn Clark. So let's take a look at what she had posted that made people, Indiana Fever fans in particular, start to go, ooh, Satou, come on over here to Gamebridge.
That's correct. Satou's recent interactions with social media has stoked huge rumors for her Indiana move. If actions speak louder than words, then Sabally's social media activity is practically screaming. After announcing her free agency, she's been unusually active in engaging with content about the Fever.
And then she only liked 8 comments out of like hundreds. And like 2 of the comments were, Fever will welcome you. Would love to see you with the Fever.
From liking posts about potential super teams to reacting to fan-created graphics of her wearing a Fever jersey, Sabally's online behavior seems far from random. And the most interesting sign, Sabally's near-total silence on posts from other teams, particularly the Chicago Sky, whose fans have been vocal about wanting her to join their roster.
I'm just gonna click on here. This is that post. It was on TikTok. And it says, yeah, so I'll be a free agent this year. And so that was her post, and Caitlyn Clark fans started posting things. Indiana Fever fans started posting things telling her, come on over, we want you, etc. And she was liking them, and that took people noticed that.
Absolutely. For someone as media savvy as Sabally, this is no coincidence. It feels calculated, as if she's carefully controlling the narrative while dropping subtle hints about her intentions.
Like, she is just constantly liking posts. She's constantly liking posts about going to Indiana. Like, she's not liking any posts about the Chicago Sky. There are equally as many people, Sky fans, commenting, go to Chicago, and she's not doing that. She's only going to Indiana.
Not only did she like comments linking her to Indiana, but Satou went a step further and liked a complete post of her teaming up with Caitlyn Clark. Can you believe this?
So she's come out and said she's a free agent. And then, Overtime said, Satou teaming up with Caitlyn, kinda here for that narrative. Obviously, after liking a whole bunch of posts yesterday about playing in Indiana. And now she is after liking a post to say free agent Satou to Indiana.
let's not forget the Caitlyn Clark factor. Clark's rookie season was nothing short of revolutionary, not just for the Fever, but for the WNBA as a whole. Her ability to draw fans, break records, and elevate her teammates makes her an incredibly attractive player to pair with. Sabally, a versatile all-star with an ability to dominate in multiple facets of the game, would complement Clark's skills perfectly.
Caitlyn is an amazing generational talent, and she's going to do amazing things.
Of where it's going.
I think the WNBA narrative right now is Caitlyn Clark, and I think that's a good narrative, but it's also not the only narrative.
Satou herself loves Clark and her game because she sees just how dominant Clark's debut season has been. Now, let's talk about Sabally and how she might fit into Fever's roster. Satou is an amazing player and one of the most promising talents in the WNBA.
Yeah, Satou is back and needs to be the #1 player on Lynn Dunn's free agency list.
She was named in the 2023 WNBA All-Star Game starter, won the WNBA Most Improved Player Award, and finished 5th in the WNBA Most Valuable Player Award voting. If we look at her record in the last 2 seasons with the Dallas Wings, Sabally has averaged 18.4 points per game, 43.2% shooting, including 39% from deep. She also contributed 7.6 rebounds, 4.6 assists, and 1.6 steals per contest.
People noticed that, and so people were saying, "Oh my goodness, she's low key saying bring me to Indiana," or not so low key saying bring me to Indiana.
Sabally can boost the front court for Indiana Fever, as she has the ability to support Caitlyn Clark. Also, Fever could make her the starting power forward. A lineup of Sabally, Mitchell, Clark, Lexi Hall, and Aaliyah Boston would give the Fever one of the best starting lineups in the WNBA. If Sabally does join the Fever, her impact would be transformative. As a 6'4" forward with the ability to stretch the guard multiple positions and dominate in transition, Sabally is a matchup nightmare for opponents. Her all-star caliber play in Dallas showcased her ability to lead a team, but joining Indiana could unlock an entirely new level of her game.
Because, again, Satou's young. This is your long-term big 3. Satou, Aaliyah Boston, and Caitlyn Clark. That's a big 3 that's going to win you some championships.
While nothing is official yet, all signs point to Sabally potentially joining the Indiana Fever. From her social media activity to the Fever's roster moves, the clues are hard to ignore. If this happens, it could be the biggest story of the offseason and a game changer for the WNBA. I mean, let's imagine Caitlyn Clark and Satou Sabally on the same team. That's not just a fan's dream. It's the kind of pairing that could redefine what's possible in women's basketball. Fans will have to wait and see, but one thing's for sure. The Fever's offseason just got a whole lot more interesting. What do you think? Is Satou an ideal fit for Clark's team? Or should Fever focus their sights on someone else? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more basketball videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.